President Gemini with another positive parenting with astrology video. It's Gemini season. As of yesterday afternoon, the sun moved into the sign of Gemini. Are you psyched for it or are you full of anxiety? Well, either way, I'm going to tell you how it's going to go for you and how best you can weather this Gemini season. We currently have 3 planets in the sign of Gemini and the North Node in the sign of Gemini. So we're going to go into what exactly that means for you. Number 1, the North Node rules kind of your cosmic destiny. Some astrologers would say it's the destiny you bring forward with you from a past life that you are continuing to fulfill, or perhaps a new cosmic mission. So the house and sign placement of the North Node in your chart will tell you the themes that are emphasized in your life as far as what you need to do to feel fulfilled and feel like you are fulfilling your life path. And the sign position will also tell you what energies will be emphasized. My North Node is in the sign of Scorpio, which makes sense because I write and blog about Scorpio children and have a Scorpio child myself. So the North Node currently being in the sign of Gemini, you're going to want to look at Gemini themes to help you think about how you can best fulfill your life path. So that's the North Node. Now, the sun is also in the sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini sun like me, you're likely going to feel energized. I woke up earlier this week feeling euphoric, like I had all these plans that I'm going to accomplish, and I'm making a lot of progress on the things I want to accomplish. So you're likely going to feel a lot of this kind of get up and go, energizing kind of energy that is going to kind of motivate and encourage you and even push you to accomplish things, right? So the trick is to keep the energy focused and less scattered. Now remember, Gemini is a mutable sign, so we can exhibit either cardinal or fixed qualities. But if this is your solar return month, if your birthday is coming up, then you're likely going to feel kind of more of a cardinal push, more cardinal energy, this energy motivating you to get things done. Okay, and if you have a lot of Capricorn energy in your chart like I do, or a strong Saturn, you may feel that energy even more strongly because Saturnian people, Capricorn people have a very strong sense of time. They constantly feel like they're running out of time to do things. I know I always feel like that. As if I'm running out of time to accomplish everything that I want to do. So the trick is to keep the energy focused and less scattered. If you're not a Gemini, you may feel very uncomfortable with this placement, the sun being in Gemini, because you're going to be a little more mentally scattered than usual. 2 main things to help that mentally scattered feeling. 1, cardio exercise, and 2, meditation. In that order, okay? Because if you haven't worked out to get rid of a lot of that mental energy, then the meditation will be less helpful for you. Trust me, ask me how I know this. So the cardio energy, regular cardio exercise will help you, especially if you're a Gemini person, will help you contain and burn off a lot of that constant mental energy. Because Geminis, we are always thinking. We cannot turn our minds off, and that makes us very restless. So the regular cardio exercise will help you. It will make that mental energy more tolerable and more manageable. Meditation helps you slow everything down, helps you slow down your thought process, being mentally overstimulated. It will help contain that and slow that down. It will slow down your breathing, and it will help you focus way better on the tasks that you have to do. So remember that. Another big tip, make to-do lists, or write everything down. It's hard, if not impossible, to carry all this information around in your head all the time. So if you are constantly thinking about things that you have to do, write them down, right? The act of writing them down, for me at least, it gives me a lot less anxiety. It lessens my anxiety because you've committed the things that you have to do to paper, and that's one less thing that you have to remember and carry around in your head. Then the trick is not to lose your lists. Okay, so make sure you have a plan for that. Also remember that being busy is not the same as being productive. Focus on the things that you really want to accomplish, that you really have to accomplish, okay? And also, Gemini is a very social energy that compels us to kind of interact with other people. It is very easy, too easy almost, with this energy to overcommit to social events and to burn ourselves out. Learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. You do not have to explain to people why you say no. If they ask you to do things socially and you're already committed to other things, say no or find a different time and day to do that. People ask you for help with things and you really don't have the time, say no. Focus on your family, focus on things that are important to you, focus on ways that you can build up your energy instead of depleting your energy. So remember that. It's easy to overcommit with the current energy. So remember to say no, take breaks, and you can pause before responding to people. That will compel you to think about whether or not you really want to do what they're offering, what they're asking you, or if you really have time to help them with what they're asking for. Okay. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Gemini. This is an excellent placement. It's a very comfortable placement. So Mercury rules the sign of Gemini naturally. Okay. So our thoughts, our thinking processes probably feel a little bit more at home. They're working seamlessly. It's like this feeling of full steam ahead when Mercury is in Gemini. It's a very comfortable energy. There is going to be an extreme amount of information available. It's going to feel overwhelming, overstimulating to you and to your kids. So make sure that you are not acting on all the information that is coming to you. Okay. Make sure you take time to synthesize it, process it, contemplate it, and then make decisions. And a word of caution, Mercury turns retrograde on May 29th. So any major life decisions you have to make, to the extent that you can, strongly suggest that you wait until Mercury is direct again later this summer to make those decisions, especially if they're going to impact you and your family to a great degree. Okay. All right. Now is a time of taking in information and thinking about things. It is not the time to make significant decisions. If you're compelled to make decisions, you're compelled to make the decision. Think very carefully about it. But if you do not have to make the decision yet, hold off on it. With Mercury and Gemini, you're probably going to feel compelled to write, and it's also a great time for learning. This can be creative writing or blog posts, articles. If you're compelled to write, write. And if you feel compelled to write and you don't have a subject in mind, sit down and write anything. Sometimes that process is just very, like, you get this sense of relief, right? If you feel compelled to write something or to verbalize something, there's a sense of relief when you actually sit down and type it out. When I have a scene in my head when I'm writing my fiction books, I feel very angsty until I can sit down and just write out the scene. And I can go back and edit it later. It's never perfect the first time I write it, rarely. So, but just the act of getting it out of your head brings you this sense of relief. So remember that too. It's a great time with Mercury being in Gemini. It's a great time for learning. This is a great time for you to take courses, for you to get your kids enrolled in things they're interested in. If they start to learn something new or start a new activity and don't like it, that's fine. At least they've tried it, and now they know they don't like it. Part of life is learning what you like to do, and we're learning what you don't like to do. And when you learn what you don't like to do, what you're not interested in, that lets you focus on the things that you do like to do. And especially in this, with this current energy, with these planets in Gemini, our energy is very scattered. We are mentally scattered. So we really need to focus on the things we want to do and not feel like we're all over the place. Okay. What else? How does this energy affect your parenting and your kids? Okay. So your kids are likely going to feel more talkative, maybe more sociable and more social than usual. If your kids have strong Gemini placements like my kid does, they're going to be even more talkative and maybe want to go hang out with their friends more. They may have this feeling of being mentally scattered and all over the place. They may not understand it fully. So younger kids may be a lot fussier. So remember that. You may have this sense of feeling rushed all the time. This energy it can feel like a very rushed energy. Build in extra time to your schedule and prepare and pre-plan to the extent that you are able to. Plan and prepare things the night before so that mornings are not rushed. Bags, anything else, lunches, if you're going somewhere, things like that. Prepare things the night ahead of time, the night before, so you're less rushed in the morning. We're not morning people in my house, so that's something that we have to do, is prepare the night before so I can literally roll out of bed and just grab my stuff and go. So also remember to be calm with your kids. You will probably feel more compelled to rush yourself and them, and that's, at the end of the day, it's really not helpful, because this feeling of being rushed all the time, our go society, is one of the things that contributes to our stress levels. So plan, Prepare and remember to be calm with your kids. Take a step back if you need to. Okay? Okay, and lastly, we're going to talk about the planet Venus, which is currently in the sign of Gemini. Venus is a planet that rules one-to-one relationships. So when it's in the sign of Gemini, it's going to give kind of a more detached, clinical point of view with regards to relationships. So in terms of your kids, this is a very good thing because this energy, this Gemini energy, will allow you to consider your parenting from a more detached point of view and maybe a less sensitive point of view, and allow you to consider whether you are parenting the way you want to be parenting, whether it's producing the results you want to produce, and whether you're parenting the right way for your kids, because all kids are different. So I encourage you during this Venus and Gemini season to think about how you are parenting and whether it's producing the results and effects that you want, and whether you think you're using the right methods for your kids. Okay. And with regard to your partner, it's also energy will also allow you to kind of look at your relationship from a more detached point of view and think about how you can improve. Because remember, you cannot change other people. You can only really change yourself. So I also, suggest that you think about how you, if there's anything in your relationship that you want to change, that you can change it by yourself, make more of an effort, be kinder to your partner. Think about this. Also, think about whether there are any kind of triggers or reconditioning or conditioning from your childhood that you need to work on, because almost all of us need to work on this. So much of adulthood, I always say this, so much of adulthood is unlearning the negative ways in which we were conditioned as children, and we bring all those ways with us as parents and also as partners in our relationships. So I encourage you to think about that and how you can be a better partner. And also with the upcoming Mercury retrograde, that mental energy is going to be directed inward, and it's a great time to think about how you can improve in general with regards to your family, but also in regards to just a human being, how you can improve, whether there are any changes that you want to make, and also whether that involves maybe decreasing some of your activities, because in our go society, it seems like everybody tries to do everything all the time, and then we have less time to really concentrate on the things that are really important to us, like our families, like our special projects. With me, it's my books. So think about all that. Okay. Also, this energy, Venus being in Gemini, will make us feel compelled to communicate in relationships with our children and also with our partner. This is a great time to communicate, especially because it gives us more of a detached point of view, and we tend to be a little less sensitive with this placement in regards to hearing constructive criticism and feedback. This is a great time to communicate with your partner and check in with them to see how they're doing and whether or not there's anything, about their lives that they would, feel like either needs to change or needs to improve, or just check in with how they're doing in general with life. Okay. Another thing is Mercury being in Gemini and Venus being in Gemini, compelling us to communicate. Mercury is a bit of a trickster. He likes to play games sometimes. If you're familiar with Greek and Roman mythology, you'll know that. And Gemini people, they love things like practical jokes. So when you're communicating with your partner, make sure that you are not being sarcastic or cutting. This Mercury and Gemini placement can be a little sarcastic and say things that they may not think are hurtful, but that could end up being hurtful. So if you need to pause before responding to your partner, remember the Gemini air energy is very fast paced. So you may not always remember to pause and think about things before responding. You may react instead of respond. Be very careful to think carefully about responding or reacting. Make sure that you're using words that are not hurtful, that you're communicating is always coming from a place of love, right? Not a place of criticism, whether you're talking to your partner or your children. Okay. Venus and Gemini energy can also be kind of fickle or indecisive, and especially because we're coming up soon on Mercury retrograde, I strongly suggest that you do not make any significant decisions until after Mercury is direct again. So you may feel a certain way one day, but that may not be the way you're going to feel about a situation permanently or forever. So I strongly suggest that you just sit with that feeling, that you don't necessarily act on it. If there's anything you need to communicate, think about your words before you utter them and things like that, because this is a very fast-paced energy that compels us to talk, But remember that we want to make sure what we're saying is important and has an effect and has kind of a positive meaning, not a negative meaning where you're just complaining about things. So communication relationships will definitely be emphasized. Just make sure that with the detached Gemini energy that's currently happening right now, just make sure that whatever you're communicating is always coming from a place of love and affection. And also make sure that when you communicate with your partner, it's a time that's good for both of you. Not when your partner is stressed or running off to work. You talk when there's a time. It's a time that you're both relaxed and receptive to each other. And if you cannot find a time when both you and your partner are kind of relaxed, if you cannot find that time, that's a big clue that something in your life has to change. You're probably doing too many things. You're overcommitting to too many things, and you need to really change some things so you're focusing on things that are really important, i.e. your family, your relationship. So those are my 2 cents to you. Anyway, if you want more information on how to parent Gemini children specifically, you can check out my video on Gemini kids. And I have a separate video on Gemini moon children. I have a series of videos on how to parent Gemini kids on my channel that you're welcome to review. And if you're interested, my book on Gemini children is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And you can get the first 2 chapters for free by clicking on the link in the video description. So thanks for sticking with me, and we will see you soon, and happy Gemini season. And please let me know in the comments how you are weathering Gemini season. All right, take care.